Hello. In this video, we are going to show the exciting results of all of the work that you've done to date. We're going to show you how to grade assignments. Before we do that, I'm going to show you how students need to create their work. I have already created a few example student files, but we're going to create a couple of more here before I show you the grading assignments capability. This will show you how students must name their files, or for a project, their folders, so the program works. I'm logged into a teacher account making this video, so it will look a little bit different, but I think you'll get the idea. What I'm going to do is create a file by a student in section blue for Math 7. And it's going to be for the assignment that the teacher gave on creating a word processor file on a square. So I'm going to open my word processor and just type a few things. Okay, so that's my assignment. Now I'm going to save it. Now I need to navigate to a student's folder. Now if a student is logged in and they've signed in with their name, this will happen automatically, but I'm going to go to Client Home Students, Grade 7, Section Blue, and I'm just going to pick a student here and go to Documents. So now we're in that student's folder, and this is where it's very important when we choose our file name. What we need to do is choose the exact file name that the teacher said in their assignment. And if you'll remember in our example, we said the student needs to create a folder called Square. It also needs the extension of .odt, but when we save it inside LibreOffice Writer, it will automatically add that extension. So the student does not need to encode .odt. That will happen automatically. So I typed Square and I click Save. So that folder is now saved in a student in Section Blue, Grade 7. I'm going to show one other example, and this example is for our Math Grade 9 Section Yellow. And if you remember, we assigned a project to that section. And remember, when we assign a project, we realized there could be several different individual files, and so we gave it a folder name of cosine. So that was a folder name, not a file name. So we're going to create, again, a writer file, and we're going to just type something here. I'm going to save it. Now again, I'm logged in as a teacher here, so it won't look exactly like this for the students. But when we get to the important part, I'll show you. I'm going to pick a student here. Now, this is what a student would usually see. They would have a choice of either documents or projects. Because we assigned a project to the Grade 9 Section Yellow, I'm going to choose projects. And further, I'm going to create a file called cosine. So it must be exactly the way the teacher typed it for the assignment. So you remember we typed cosine with a capital C. So now the student has specified in projects a folder called cosine. And now we can name this file whatever we want. So we're going to call it cosine description and save it. So when we have a project, we don't have to worry so much about the file name, just the folder name. And we'll save that. So now we've created some student work. What we're going to do now as a teacher is begin to grade the work that the students have created, their outputs. We're going to open the Manage Classes program, and we're going to go to Grade Assignment. So first of all, we're going to look at the grade 7 blue students. So as I mentioned, I had created some work before, and we also made an example in this video. So I'm going to choose the teacher account, my class, Math 7 Blue, and I'm going to click the assignment. The assignment was description of square. When I click that, what I see is all of the students that have already created a file called square.odt. And this was the one that we created in this video. The other two I created earlier. We can also see the students that have not done this activity yet. So when a student creates square.odt, their name will show up in this list, so you can see which students are done, or at least have begun the assignment. I'm going to click on the student that we had created a file for earlier. When I double click on their name, it will open that file for you automatically. So you can see the name, the grade section, and the file name that they've created. Now, if we want to look at that work that I had created earlier, I can just double click on it. So you can see it's very, very easy now to grade the students' work. All you have to do is double click on it and it will open that file so you can see their work. And as more and more students do this work, their names will show up in work files available. And all it took was you creating an assignment for them, giving them that file name, and having them use that exact same file name. And once you do that, it's very, very simple to grade their assignments. So I'm going to click Finished. And now we're going to look at the other example. So we gave our grade 9 yellow section in math a project called cosine. And we had created a file for one of those students. And like the other example, I've also created a few things before I did this video. We're going to check that class name, and we're going to click the assignment. We can see that 3 students have begun work on the cosine project. That means they have a folder in their projects folder called cosine. When I double click on a student now, what I open up is that folder, and there's the file that we had created in this video, and I can double click on that and I can look at the other outputs that the students had already created. And here's an ODP file. So by using projects, you can see that if a student has multiple outputs, when it opens the folder, you can click any of those files that they've created. So that's the grading assignments capability. I think you can see if you take the care to set up your classes and create assignments, suddenly your work as a teacher becomes much, much easier to grade their assignments. Now, many classes use groups of students. So I would suggest that you designate one student as the group leader, and when the group of students create their outputs, they should store it under the group leaders folder. So that way, what you'll see up here are the names of the group leaders, and then you can look at the outputs of the entire group. So just designate one student as the leader, who should be the person that has the files in their directory. So that's the end of our session. That is the Manage Classes program, and it's a very simple 4 steps. To summarize, we create a class, we assign students to that class, and then anytime during the year we can create an assignment. We either will have a unique file name with extension, or for a project, a folder name that we share with the students. As the students do their work, they use that file name or folder name, exactly spelled the way the teacher spelled it. And then finally, the teacher can grade those assignments as the students complete them. Thank you very much for listening, and we hope you enjoy using this new capability, the Manage Classes program. Thank you.